What up, guys? It's Psycho Turkey with another Free Game Friday. Every Friday I play free games because I ain't got no money for no new games. This week, though, we have something special. This is The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It's a free game from that Life is Strange universe. Wasn't a big fan of Life is Strange, but this one caught my attention. And you know what? It's great. It's perfect in a lot of ways. You play Chris. He is a kid with a big imagination. And at first you think, oh yeah, all kids have a lot of imagination, but what he's doing is using it as a coping mechanism as well, right? So he invents this persona of Captain Spirit and that he has these powers because you find out that he just moved here with his dad, and his mom dies in a terrible car accident, a hit and run. The dad's drinking now to deal with that, and he's beating his son Chris, and Chris just has to deal with it. Like, he has to do all the chores around the house, the dishes, he has to clean up, do the laundry. He has to be the adult in this situation because his dad's just gone so deep into alcoholism that he's lost his job. They moved, and he just kind of like watches basketball games and passes out on the couch and beats his son sometimes. He just takes it out on his son. So Chris invents Captain Spirit, and you kind of spend these couple hours of this game just like living through his day-to-day life. And there's a lot of little things that come out of it that are kind of like right there beneath the surface. So Mantroid is like Captain Spirit's big enemy, and later on in the game, if you're really paying attention, you find out that Mantroid is a combination of the two different streets that his mom was killed at. It spells out Mantroid. They're perpendicular signs to each other, and if you read them a certain way, it says Mantroid. So even naming his arch nemesis is kind of like his way of dealing with his mom's death. So you spend this game going back and forth between these like epic comic book experiences, and then you have things like this where there's just nothing. There's these beautiful, artistic, well-composed shots that just reinforce this fact that Chris is alone. There's nothing going on in this town of Boulder Creek. Like this is it. And Chris just spends his days by himself in this quiet neighborhood with his dad. And one of the like heart-wrenching things about this game is you go through it obviously as Chris, and you have to deal with the dad, and you kind of explore how the dad just gone downhill since the wife passed. And Chris still loves his dad and wants to take care of him and be with him, even though like his dad's beating him now. And it's just this crazy thing to have to go through, and it's this heavy situation in the game. And then there are these other scenes like,
there's my hot dog man.
Like Hot Dog Man. There's just Hot Dog Man, just out of nowhere. So you're bouncing back and forth between these two different tonalities of the game. There's the whimsical, lighthearted comic book, dark adventure, like, I'm a superhero, and like where Chris is deep in his imagination. And there's the other parts where it's just this heavy-handed, real-life situation that just is awful to go through. And it just, at a dime, can flip back and forth between the two. Like on one moment you could be destroying the Snowmancer, and the next you could just be like being bullied by the dad.
Grow up.
The one thing that doesn't make this an absolutely perfect game is the voice acting.
I look at you every time you talk.
Stop it.
I see your face. Why? And if it wasn't for you, she would have never taken the car that day. Never.
The dialogue's on point. The characters are there. And this kind of situation is really, I think, an interesting thing to explore. But the voice acting just isn't there for me. And so it reaches this climax here, and then it just ends on this cliffhanger. And you're left with, well, what happens next? And of course, it's a promo for their next game, Life is Strange 2, so now I have to get it. Thanks, guys.